All right, welcome to the Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. We got today's episode. Today is teams that I'm watching this year. So we're kind of seeing what teams are going to be fun or shit shows or any teams that I'm interested in. So I have my couple main teams that I follow on a pretty regular basis. I got the Detroit Red Wings as number one, Dallas Stars as number 3, and number 2 would be San Jose Sharks. I don't know why I did that order, but those are the ones that came in mind at the time. So we got a couple of them that are set up here today. So I'm actually really excited to go through them today with you guys. So again, welcome to the Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. You can see you got the TikTok, YouTube, and so let's just jump right into it on some of the ones. So like I said, and I'm gonna give you a reason real quick to watch the ones that I'm watching this year. Of course, you have the Red Wings. I mean, the Red Wings look phenomenal this year. They are just killing it. They did a ton of offseason acquisitions as well. You're seeing Andrew Kopp. They got back from the New York Rangers, as well as you got he was also at the Winnipeg Jets. You have David Perron. He's been in Vegas. He's also the Blues. Honestly, it just seems like the Red Wings are just picking a bunch of Blues players at this point. And they got Robbie Fabry a couple of years ago. They got Sundqvist. They got Jake Wallman. They got Billy Husa. They got Perron. That's 5 guys right there that were previously St. Louis Blues players. So, hey, it's all right. Let's just pick all the good ones that they got. If any team's got any good players, they'll take them, man. Steve Eisman has no problem taking them. So, and then, of course, he picked up Ben Sherratt. I know there was a ton of discussion on that contract for him. It was a big contract. It was like a 5-year contract. I think it was $4.75 million. So you're looking at a lot of money for a guy. But as we've heard before, when you're going into free agency, you can usually anticipate he's paying $1 million more a year. Plus, you're going to probably pay for one more year that you want to. So a lot of people thought, 4 years is a long time for Ben Sherratt. What's he doing? But right now, we're actually seeing him doing pretty well. He's laying the hits. He's really, in my opinion, being a good mentor to Moritz Seider. He's really able to just help support Seider in that way, and because the good thing about Sherratt is that he does have a pretty good mix of offensive defensive. Isn't leaning one way too far either way. He's not extremely offensive. He's not like an Erik Karlsson, but he's also not a defensive liability. So that allows Seider to learn those balances, right? Because that's the goal with the rookies, especially with what Eisman's trying to do, is you want to optimize these rookies to be in the best form, essentially. So what you want them to, not get just shelled every day, which is one of the reasons that Eisman actually upgraded the roster, is that he didn't want him to get shelled every day. So, of course, Seider did really well, winning the Calder, 53 points last year, 82 games, beating out Zegras, beating out Raymond, beating out Lindell. There's a lot of good players that he beat out. So I thought it's a good pickup, but we'll see how it works out long term. The contract is 4 years, so I'm glad we're seeing that in that first year working out well. So, and a couple of notable ones, a little more sneakier ones, you have Dominic Kubalik. They actually picked him up for I believe 2 years, and so that is a good RFA pickup from Chicago. I'm actually really surprised Chicago didn't requalify him, because he's a 30-goal scorer. So we'll see. I guess we'll see. So. But he's a 30-goal scorer. He's doing really well. I think he actually, right now, Kubalik has 8 points in 5 games, so he's killing it. Again, I don't know why they didn't requalify him, but if Chicago wants to make mistakes, I'm looking at you, the Doc trade and the DeBrincat trade. So, but if they're willing to give up their picks or their players, we'll take them. We also picked up Suter from them like 2 years ago. So, that's another good pickup. So Ole Mata as well coming into the new season. Really crazy thing is he's actually a really he's known as a defensive defenseman. So we're like, don't expect a lot of points. He's gonna play in the second line, probably with Hronek, Hronek's more offensive. So let Hronek go down, get maybe caught behind, but Ole Mata will pick it up. He'll pick up the slack. So he's more defensive defenseman. So I think it was like 50-some games with the LA Kings last year. He had 8 points. So, again, like we talked about, not a really offensive defenseman. Defenseman. So, with that, you're like, okay, well, then let's kind of expect maybe something similar, maybe like 12 if we're lucky, right? I believe he's already got 4 points I mean, we're like 5 games in here and he has 4 points, so he's already halfway through what he had last year with the Kings. I think he's looking to step up in the role. I think he has a bigger role with the Red Wings as well. So hopefully we're going to see him continue to progress. I mean, again, you don't bring him on for the points, but because you want that stability on the second line, second pairing. But it's good to have. Hey, well, they'll take the points, man. You know, I think that's the one thing they're looking to do is they're looking to score more goals. I think it's Red Wings haven't had a game that they have as of now, and they've only played like 5 games. By the way, they are undefeated in regulation, so that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a really good thing. I think they have 8 points out of their possible 10. So if you can have that type of record for us, I mean, you're gonna lose games, but you know, if you can have that type of record where you're getting 8 points out of every 10 or 8 points out of 10 possible, that's a high playoff team. But again, I don't think we're going to see that. So, but yeah, so that's why that's one of the reasons I'm actually watching the Red Wings. Again, it's cool because we're actually going to the game tomorrow. We're going to the New Jersey Devils game. So it'll be a good time, man. I'm excited to go with some friends. So another one that let's go through my favorite teams and a couple ones that I'm actually watching as well this year. So then we have the San Jose Sharks. Sharks were not supposed. I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I thought that they had plenty to work with. Picking up Oscar Lindblom. They got a couple of guys that are. I just thought they were really underrated. I thought they were just fine signings. I guess it wasn't great. Again, I didn't think they were really this bad. I guess. I mean, I guess you can kind of talk about with some of the things that they were looking to sell off. They did move out like a big piece being Brent Burns. You know. They did move that out for cap. I think they got back like a 3rd round pick and like a prospect, but like really overall, and they're retaining as well. So they're retaining at 33% or something like that. They moved him. They traded Aiden Hill, which I was okay with. Aiden Hill was fine. I'd rather have Reimer, and I'd rather have Kakinen and Vegas. You know, they got a 3rd round pick for that as well. But you also have to so let's go back to the acquisitions as well. Got Capo Caco in the Wild deal last year. I believe it was for Jacob Middleton. I think it was, to Minnesota. Picked up Oscar Lindblom, free agency. He was bought out by Philadelphia. Luke Cunningham was in Nashville. So they traded Luke Cunningham for John Leonard, just a 1-for-1, no big deal. Picked up Nico Sturm. Steven Lorenz came from the Burns deal, and then Matt Benning as well. So nothing crazy. They didn't try to do anything crazy, but like to me, like they didn't make a bunch of free agent acquisitions that they're looking to like get significantly better. But like you have great pieces. You have Couture. You have Hurdle. You have honestly one of my favorite defensemen, probably my favorite defenseman in the league, is Erik Karlsson. You have it's Timo Meier, which they gotta lock him down. But again, why? I don't know if they're gonna lock him down because I don't know the direction that the team is going right now. I think signing Couture long term, captain, I guess it makes sense. I think it gives $8 million. Hurdle they signed long term $8 million. Karlsson, that contract looks terrible, $10.5 million or $11.5 million. I think for now it's like 6 more years. It's brutal. So, but I think if Karlsson can turn around now, and the good thing is Karlsson said, hey, I don't want to be part of a losing team, and so since if you don't want that, then step it up. Now, you had the 2 more offensive defensemen of Erik Karlsson and Brent Burns. So now that you traded up Brent Burns, that is now that's management telling Karlsson, you need to step it up. You need to actually decide that you're going to be a leader on this team, and decide if you don't want to lose, you're the reason that they're not going to lose. You're an assistant captain. You need to step it up on a night-to-night basis. Where's the punt production? You were a Norris winner. What's happening? So go out there and be the player that we know you can be and want to be, right? So and lead by example. That's the biggest thing. But they are bogged down by a couple of long contracts. They have who is the other long contract? So you got Mark Edward Vlasic. Let's go over the other screen. Actually, here we go. So as you can see, you got Mark Edward Vlasic was a big one. You got Nudavara. I think some of these guys. They're young still. That's the thing. Mario Ferrero, great defenseman. And so I'm looking at the list. I'm a sucker for Evgeny Svechnikov. I thought they gave up on him too quickly. I'm actually really excited. He seems to be doing okay. He seems to be doing all right with the Sharks. He seems to be a little more offensive, or not offensive, a little more aggressive, and he's getting some of that scoring touch, which I'm really excited about. Matt Nieto's a great pick as well. I'm looking at all these years. I'm like, man, dude, 98, 90, I'm like, these guys are all much younger than me. Although mature, he's actually older than me, thank God. Barabanov, he came from Toronto. Again, there's pieces here to work with, but they're not putting them together. Now, they have, I think, 1 or 2 wins on the season. They beat the Rangers, which is great, but they did not have a good start. Let's get off this before they take me down for having this video in there. They did not get it off to a good start with the 2 national games, which they did not play well, and they're just not playing well. I think what is going to end up happening is they're going to be the bottom. We're seeing that already. Everyone has a lot of doubts in that. And so we're going to see them in the bottom, and I think they're going to trade off James Reimer. He's in the last year's contract, and I think because they have a new GM in Mike Greer, they're going to have to do a retool. And the reason they're not doing a rebuild is because the contracts they have. Mark Edward Vlasic, long-term. Erik Karlsson. Logan Couture. Hurdle. Like, you have these big, massive contracts. That's like... I think that's 30% of their cap is just those 4 players. It's kind of stupid, but that's just what Doug Wilson did, and that's just the position they put him in. And he did a great job. He helped take them to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think 2017, I believe was. So we're happy for Doug Wilson, and he's off to his retirement. I hope all is well for him. But now it is about the new direction of the team, and because of these heavy contracts, they're probably going to have to do a shorter retool as opposed to a rebuild, which is what Anaheim's doing, which is what Detroit's coming out of now, which is what Ottawa's coming out of now. So hopefully, I just want direction. That's the biggest thing with Shark. Just say we're going here. We all know what Arizona's doing. We all know what Chicago's doing. We now know what Ottawa is doing with signing Giroux, getting DeBrincat, right? So just give me direction. And that's the most frustrating thing with the team is that let me know which way you're going, so that we can move that way. So I can be encouraged to say, hey, teams doing X, Y, and Z, but we're trying to hit this, right? For the Wings, they're trying to be better, so I can be like, hey, they had some struggles, but really they're looking better. They're doing better on the power play. Their penalty kill is good. I can talk about these things and say, I can focus on those good parts, so that gives me an idea of what direction I'm trying to go into. If I'm like, hey man, they've lost 6 out of the last 10, 8 games, I can it's okay. We're going to rebuild. We're trying to. I don't know if you heard the new one for Bedard, if you're going for Bedard, but there's the big Eichel, there's the Matthews, but there's these little names they have if you're trying to lose for a certain draft pick or the number 1 draft pick. So what they said is it's go out there and suck hard for Bedard. Connor Bedard. So yeah, he's a piss. He's a piss missile over there, dude. He's killing his junior league. So good for him. So again, I just want direction from the Sharks. Just hopefully we can get an idea of which way they're trying to go. So let's move over to my third favorite team, which would be the Dallas Stars. So I like the Stars. I was a big fan of the Anaheim Ducks, but I just ended up kind of outgrowing them and transitioned to the Stars about 5 years ago or so. I think the biggest thing is because I really like Tyler Seguin, and I'm really bummed and I'm disappointed on his lack of production in the last couple of years. And that's probably not been 1 year or 2 years. It's been he's been injury, so much injury. It's stupid. And I also like Jamie Benn. He's kind of like he's like the personal like Brad Marchand that I like cheer for. Like, I don't like Brad Marchand because he's a dick, right? But if it was Brad Marchand was on our team, like the team that I cheer for, I'm like, hey, yeah, like get at it, man. Although I am a little upset with Jamie Benn because he did hurt Larkin. It was last year, I believe. So a little pissed off. And of course, we got Luke Glendening. So let's go to the next page over here. So we got the roster ups. You have Ben. You have Glendening, which is just he's your face-off guy. He's there to make the face-offs and help bring that that little bit of edge when you're on a power play and you're in the offensive zone. You want that guy that you can get the puck from so that you can control of it. So. Gurianov, you have Hitz. Hitz is a rock star, man. Him, that Peters or that Robertson, Pavelski, and Hintz. By the way, speaking of Sharks, talking about Joe Pavelski, what a rock star. By the way, talking about fine wine, Joe Pavelski just getting better with age. I mean, this guy's a point per game player, just a rock star. He's in. He did a 1-year contract. I think he's like 36, 37. And this guy just keeps going, and he's not like a. So what you see simply with the older players, you're seeing with like Wayne Simmons, like you saw with Jason Spezza with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You see these older guys, Joe Thornton in Florida last year. They take these league men contracts, and Joe Pavelski, I'm pretty sure he got paid like $4 million because he's still producing at a high level. So it was a lot of money. I think maybe. I think it might have been 7. Anyways, either way, he produces really well, and him with that Jason Robertson line, he's killing it. They're doing a great job. So I'm super happy with that line. So hopefully they can keep it up. I want to see Jason Robertson have another 42 goal season. I think it was. I mean, they should have locked him up longer. I think they got 4 years, $7 million or something like that. 3 years. They're gonna regret that. So I know the the owner came out and talked about how all these young guys want these long-term contracts. Well, yeah, they're worth it if it's gonna make sense long term, right? And that's kind of what you're seeing with Buffalo. Buffalo signing the Logan Thompson, 7x7 ish, right? 7x7, had 40-some goals last year. Like, if it works out, it's gonna work out phenomenal. If he can continue to be a 40 goal, even a 30 goal player, $7 million is absolutely worth it for that type of player for Buffalo. So you're looking at Jason Robertson wanting that big contract. If you would have gave him 8 years, let's call it 8 by 8. Let 8 by 8 be pretty good, 8.5 maybe. And you're getting a guy that's putting up the goals like that, that's what you want long term, and that ends up making the most sense, especially with the cap potentially going up by $4 million next year if the players are able to pay off escrow, and we just know it's going to keep going up. So you lock in the players now. Like if I was a player, so cap has to go up next year potentially. If I was a player trying to get a contract in the last couple of years, I would have just taken the bridge deal, right? Give me a 1, 2, 3 year contract because I know the cap's going up, and that means I'm going to get paid more. I'm going to be worth more. So. To me, I'm willing to bet on myself, but hey, there's a reason I'm not in the NHL. So, bringing in young rookie, born 2003, good for him, man. Wyatt Johnson, he just got his first goal recently. I'm happy for him. He's looking like a stud. Yoel Quiranta, Mason Marchment was a great pickup from Florida. By the way, if you haven't heard Mason Marchment's story, he's a great story. He was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs. He got traded to Florida, I believe. Yeah, to Florida. And he was a grinder. No. I take that back. He was not drafted by Toronto. He was undrafted, and he got an opportunity to play for the Marlies. And Toronto signed a contract, traded his contract to Florida. Clearly broke out in Florida last year. Did a great job, and now he's got that 4x4 from Dallas. So, and we hope the best for him because his dad just recently passed away in the offseason. So hope the best for Mason Marchman, and clearly he seems to be thriving in the team. 6'4", good God, good job, good for him, man. 6'4" on a as a forward, that's a big dude, man. Especially when you're looking at Joe Pavelski at 5'11". Jacob Peterson coming in, a younger player, similar age to Robertson. And then, of course, again, I want Tyler Seguin to blossom. I want him to do well. I want him to. They really need to. I mean, you can't tell me your second line is going to be your scoring unit. I mean, you have Ben on the top line. You have Seguin on the top line, but that second line is of Robertson, Pavelski, and Hintz. I mean, all great players. Kind of reminds me of the Brett Hall, Hendrik Zetterberg, and Pavel Datsyuk, the goat and two kids. You got the old guy. You got the old guy, Pavelski, and you got, look at Hintz is 96, and Roberts is 99. Pavelski is 84. So there's a 15-year gap there, and there's a 12-year gap there. So I mean, again, that's a goat and two kids right there. Anyways, so with that, and then go on to the defense. A little more lackluster. Mind you, they did lose Klingberg this year. So I thought Klingberg's great. He's more of your offensive defenseman. But let's be honest, a defensive liability. I think it's probably better that they didn't sign him long term, and he got screwed. His agent, I think Dallas offered him a 7x7. That was the rumors that go around, a 7x7 at the start of the year, and so I think his agent said, "Hey man, don't do that. Like you're gonna get more on the market." Market came, wasn't able to secure a contract, so he fired his agent, right? And he was able to get the $7 million for 1 year out in Anaheim, but he has to now reprove himself in Anaheim and try and get that big deal in free agency. So hopefully he can, but we'll see. So I thought Hakanpää was a good pickup. Joel Hanley, that's one of the people in their system that they brought up. Miro Heiskanen, great player, underrated. I think that they need to lock him up long term. Esa Lundell. Niels Lundqvist, I'm a little tainted on this because I thought they paid too much. I thought Niels Lundqvist, he was, let's look at him. I think he was drafted at 28th. So if you look at his career, let's go to career. So he got 25 games, 4 points. Now, mind you, he didn't have a ton of minutes. I believe that was the one that was the downside for him. He's doing all right now. He's got 3 points at 3 assists, 3 points at a 5-game pace. So not bad. I just think that he's a first round pick, man. But that's the thing is that you're doing when you're looking at a player, or you're trading away a first round draft pick. You're saying, hey, what is the goal? What is the direction? We just talked about this with San Jose. What is the direction? And we know that because Dallas went for it last year. They went into the playoffs, or they were trying to go to the playoffs. They barely made it in, but they played hard against the Calgary Flames. And honestly, it's because Ottinger just stood on his head, and I'm so glad they locked him up. But we'll see. Niels Lundqvist seems to be working out well. Again, I still think there's a lot of money, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Like I said, I'm hopeful, man. I want them to work out. I don't want them to trade someone something as valuable as a first round draft pick, and then not have it work out. I would rather give them like 2 seconds or something like that. But I don't know what the draft capital they have available. So let's go down. So we have Ottinger, we have Wedgwood. Wedgwood played well. He's actually, in my opinion, a little bit underrated right now, just because Ottinger is just taking so much of that attention, which is great. I mean, massive goal. He's 6'5". Again, and he was proven in the place that matters. In the regular season last year, he was fine. He did okay. Let's go look at the stats real quick because I'm actually now curious. So with his stats last year, so we're looking at, so he played 46 games, 30 wins, 2.53 GAA, so pretty average, and a .914 save percentage. Again, pretty average. I mean, overall, pretty average. Now, if we go to the playoffs, this guy stood on his head, which is actually an old hockey reference, or a whole old reference when they used to stand up in the game. Stand up instead of going into butterfly. 2021 right here, you can see the 7 games, 4 losses. They did lose and everything. But look at this. Goals against, 1.81 and a .954. That save percentage is a Vezina best goal in the league trophy for the regular season type of save percentage. I think Carey Price was something crazy like that. It wasn't maybe that high when he won his Hart Trophy, which is Hart Trophy is the MVP. Which, by the way, if we talk about it, how do you win the Hart as the most valuable player in the league and not win the Vezina as the best goalie in the league? Doesn't make sense. But anyways, I'm glad that they locked up Ottinger. I thought it was super smart, and making sure they lock up Robertson as well. So I just wanted to kind of these are the other ones that I'm paying attention a little bit to. So I am actually now a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I know. I didn't want to be, but I listened to the Steve Dingle podcast, and I really they talk so passionately about it, and I actually thought about doing something like Steve and just being that kind of crazy. Unfortunately, I do live in an apartment, so, and I don't know if you noticed, it is kind of dark in here because it's nighttime. It's 11 o'clock at night, but I think my neighbors would be pretty pissed, to say the least. So, but I like them. I mean, I'm a big fan of them, and so I just want to see them win. Let's kind of go through. I'm gonna go through these real quick because these ones I am paying attention to, but I am paying a little bit less attention to. I really like Yarncroke. I think he's a great player. Underrated in my opinion. I'm glad that they locked him up for 4 years. Michael Bunting. I have to hate Michael Bunting because he was fighting for the college trophy last year, and he's old. His bones hurt more than my back does at any point. So. I even hear about Dennis Morgan as well. He gets shit on a lot. I really like Marner. I think he's properly paid. I think Matthews is underpaid. I do think that Matthews is going to stick around, but I'm all about chaos. So if he went to Arizona right when they're about to be good, I mean, that's poetry. I mean, you can't write that. You just can't write that. I'd love to see that. And I don't know why go through Nylander. You have Nylander over here. You have Wayne Simmons is fine. I like Nylander. I think he's super underrated still. I think that contract is a steal. So I would absolutely, of all these, of course, I take Matthews, but then my second on this team, I would take Nylander absolutely. Marner's great, but I think Nylander underrated absolutely. And for some reason, I just don't like John Tavares. I really think that was pretty shitty how he told the Islanders he was going to sign with them, he was going to stay there long term, he was their captain, and then he just dipped. I'm okay, go do what you need to do, get your bag, but don't tell the media one thing and then just leave. I think that's a little bit frustrating, but he made his decision. That's okay. I think that they're going to get rid of any contract. And Tavares is good, but if Matthews sticks around, he will be the captain. And Tavares, great to see. He's a point-per-game player. He's very expensive. Again, I just think that he doesn't bring the same energy that they need to. They don't bring that intensity. He's very calm, which is great, but we need that intensity. They need that intensity. They're going to try and get out of the first round. So go through. I mean, they have 100 injured players. This is why they have so many. Look at all there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's say it again. 10 defensemen. You can only play 6. Ton of injuries. Muzzin's injured. Benson injured. Liljegren should be injured. As far as they don't have the asterisk next to his name. Dahlstrom is injured as well. I'm pretty sure. So. I honestly, I wanted the Wings to offer sheet Sandin, throw a couple million, right? Dude, go get Sandine for $3-4 million, and that do what the Carolina Hurricanes did. Now, I don't know if I'd pay the first and the third. Like I wouldn't pay Sandine $6 million because he got I think like it was a $1.85 million contract for 2 years, something like that. I mean, come on, you couldn't offer him a $4 million contract. It's over double what he paid, and I think it's like you have to pay like a second round draft pick. It's silly. So that's what I would have done. Morgan Riley's fine. I like Victor Mete, underrated, small guy, but I like him. I wish that Red Wings would have picked him up, but I'm happy. Then we have the the goalie situation. So Samsonov was a good pickup. I think Murray is a risk, and Eric Shalgren is fine. He's there. He's fine. I think Matt Murray brings a good Stanley Cup perspective. He has 2 Stanley Cup rings with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I think that was a good. I think it's good in the office. Like get a guy like that if he's after his career is done, he'd get that Stanley Cup pedigree. But honestly, I think Samsonov is a better gamble. He's young, right? Get him on one year contract, show that he can prove himself, and then let him ride. Let him go. So real quickly, Buffalo Sabres. I mean, come on, you gotta be romantic about this team, honestly. They've been doing this rebuild for 10 years, and they've missed the playoffs for 10 years straight. I don't like so let's kind of real quick again. Dylan Cousins, don't care for him because he was kind of a dick to the Red Wings last year, which is fine, good for him. But I just he's fine. Anyways, do I want him on my team? Yeah, it'd be great. But I just think he's kind of a dick. So, congrats on Kyle Okposo, by the way. I like Middlestad as well. Sorry. Congrats on Kyle Okposo becoming the captain. He's going to be there probably for a couple of years, which is exciting for him. So, and they need that leadership. They need the veteran leadership. By the way, I thought Okposo was like 26. He's older than me. So, I mean, hey, again, good for him. Get that bag. So, you get Middlestad as well. I like him. I would have him on my team. I think he's a little bit underrated. JJ Peterka is currently in the Calder conversation right now. I remember them picking up Jack Quinn, and that was kind of skeptical because they could have got him a lot lower. So we'll see how he works out. But I hear really great things. Riley Sheehan, of course, Red Wing. Jeff Skinner, that contract. I'm gonna skip that. Tage Thompson just got signed, that long-term contract. So hopefully that works out as well. And Alex Tuch, great, part of the Eichel trade with that. I think kind of if you scroll back up here, you get Peyton Krebs, which was a Vegas first-round draft pick. Alex Tuch, he has that excellent celly where he's like, he scores and everything, and he kind of like he's doing like a slow walk. I think that's one of my favorite celebrations of a goal. That was I think it was the Minnesota Wild's like preseason or training camp. So. Good pickup. I think he's gonna get an A. I think. Let's see. We got Gergensen's got an A. Who else is an A? Darlene's got an A. That makes sense. I think Tuch should get an A as well. And I think if he sticks around long term because he wants to be there, he's 8 years younger than Okposo, right? So if Tuch can stay healthy, I think he'll be the next him or Darlene the next captain. Moving through. Okay, this is before this year. Darlene is on a 5-game, 5-goal streak. That has never been done by a defenseman in the first 5 games, ever. So he set a league record right there. I wanted him before this. I thought he was great. Great pickup by them. Of course, he's a number one overall draft pick. I know he took a little longer to develop, but I love this kid. I think he's going to be an absolute stud and a star defense to take a little bit longer to grow into their position. Especially he's a bigger frame, 6'3". But I always said it. So again, look, they got Darlene, and then they also have Owen Power, another number one overall draft pick. So he's going to be great as well. It seems like he's panned out really well in at U of M. which I'm planning on going to go visit actually soon. So I'll get a picture, see if we can find his picture. So Matthias Samuelsson just picked up that long-term contract. And then Eric Comrie, Anderson, oldest dude ever play hockey at this point, 81. Holy smokes! I think he's 41 years old. I think he's actually the oldest player in the league right now. He's doing well, man. Good for him, man. And Eric Comrie had a great season with the Winnipeg Jets. So we're watching the Buffalo Sabres just because we thought we want to see the development. We want to see them get better. We don't want Buffalo to be a shit show. When Buffalo's good, the league's good because they have a great family. It's very passionate. You've seen the Buffalo Bills. Great passionate fan base. I'm gonna go through these quick. You have the Coyotes, fire sale. Let's be honest. They're. I love it. Let them rebuild. Let them do what they. Just let them just tear it all down. Sell off everything. Barrett Hayton. I mean, I know those are on the draft picks a while, but like sell off everything. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. Like they got no face. I mean, like these guys aren't. They're not NHLers yet. Like these are just kind of picking up random guys. Of course they're gonna sell off. What's it called? What's his name? Chikrin. They're gonna sell him off soon. Wait for his injuries to get better, but they just continue to sell it. They have I think they have like 11 second round draft picks in the next couple of, like 2 years. It's stupid. I like him. I love it. Like this. Like if you're gonna tear it down, and they're playing out of a college stadium, so let them tear it down. Let them suck to shit. Let them just be bad. Let me back up. You're gonna see a great effort from them because I want to look at the screen. You're gonna see a great effort from them because they hockey players don't think, hey, I think we're gonna tank for this team. I think we're gonna the team wants to tank. No. Players, they want to be the best. They want They want to win every night. Every goalie, every defenseman, every forward, every coach. They don't say, we're gonna try to lose tonight. No, they want to win every night. So to me, this and kind of the Chicago lineup, which we're gonna talk about as well. It's another one that I'm watching this year. Another team that is selling off. I don't know if they're doing properly. They're doing kind of properly, but sell everything off. Get your bag. Get all your draft picks. Collect all these. Steve Dangle calls them magic beans. Gamble and just try and pull all these draft picks. And I mean they have Logan Cooley that's coming up eventually. He'll take a little bit longer to develop, but he'll be a great centerman. Just do it right. And by the way, tank, and again doing it properly, so that in 3-4 years when your arena's ready, you are good. They're gonna sell that place out. They're gonna do so much damage because everyone shits on Arizona for just being a shitty team. They can't hang. They just can't do anything properly, honestly. But Bettman's been just pumping them up, just pumping their tires up. Sorry, I hit the microphone. Pumping their tires up, saying, hey, we want them to be successful in the West, and we do. We want them to be successful. We want their hockey to be they want hockey in the desert. Do you know why? Do you know who came out of the desert? The number 1 overall draft pick. I think you might have heard him. Austin Matthews won Rocket Richard last year, and he had 62 goals in the season. Didn't even play all 82 games. So. And I think after Ovechkin beats the Wayne Gretzky record, I think that if Austin stays healthy, I mean, he did have the wrist surgery, I think, last year. If he can stay healthy, then he has an opportunity to beat Ovechkin's record when he beats Wayne Gretzky. So, but he hasn't done yet. He's only number 3 right now. So he still has to catch up to Howe at 801 goals. I think 801 goals. I think Gretzky has like 879 or 97, something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to watch them. I think they're gonna be tough to play against. They're that misfit line. I think that's kind of like how Vegas was when they first came to the league. They're like hey, our team didn't want us. They just gave us away. And let Leslie picked up. And that misfit, and that's what ended up taking them to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I'm excited to see what Arizona does. Chicago, same thing. We're seeing them tear it down. I think they didn't get enough for DeBrincat. Don't think they even should have traded DeBrincat anyways. I think they should have just kept him and built around him. Tear everything down around him. I don't know if he wanted to stay there, but of course they're gonna sell off Kane. They brought in Athanasiou to flip real quick. Brian Dickinson, they'll flip him eventually. Domi, they'll flip him. Tyler Johnson, a little bit older, but they might be able to get a third round pick for him. Kane, of course, they're going to get a haul, but he has no movement. So he gets to choose where he gets to go. Probably the Rangers, because that's what everyone keeps talking about. Lafferty, they might. They'll probably get it. They're in the start of this rebuild. They're finally committing to it, thankfully. I'm bummed for Taves. I really like Taves, even though they're kind of dicks. But Seth Jones. I'm actually really happy that Seth Jones and Caleb Jones get to play together. They're brothers. I'm happy for them, but that Seth Jones contract, I don't think he has even kicked in yet. Maybe he has. I think it's the first year. It's bad, man. So it's a huge overpay. And I said that before I started recording. Recording, which has been like couple weeks. I was started recording stuff, but I said that when that got signed, I was felt bad for him. Let me rephrase. I felt bad for the fans of Chicago. I didn't feel bad for Chicago, the team. Again, Kyle Beach, look it up. Sarah is the goalies. Mrazek, again, Red Wing, but he's on to different things. He's injured. Surprise. Sarok is fine. He's a generic backup. But he's taking over the number one role while Mrazek is out. And Arvid Soderblom, who is the brother of Elmer Soderblom on the Red Wings, the 6'8" forward. So it's crazy because Elmer is 6'8". Imagine having a goalie that's 6'8". That'd be great. And then you're like, oh, he's 6'8", he probably plays defense. Nope, he plays forward. And he's got hands for days. So, of course, his brother's only sitting at a measly 6'3" as a goalie. So I think they'll do all right. But I'm happy. I'm happy that he gets to play. And Elmer did in the preseason, or one of the first games, he actually scored against Arvid. So poor Arvid, but both I think his parents. Their parents got to see him play against each other, which is kind of fun. And lastly, the last one we want to go over is Philadelphia Flyers. And the reason I'm a Philadelphia Flyer fan right now is because they were shit last year. We all expect them to be shit. And let's look real quick. What is their standings right now? Because they didn't look good at all. They didn't, and everyone had doubts. I had doubts, absolutely. But look at them right now. Second in the division, 8 points. 4 wins, 2 losses. Only one that's ahead of them is Pittsburgh, and that's because they have an overtime loss. Wow, the Islanders are last. Actually, I think I had them 7th anyway, so I'm feeling pretty confident in this still. But I had Philadelphia way down at 8 because I thought they were going to be bad. But Tortorella's really turned around. I'm happy for them. And again, I'm excited to watch the Flyers because I thought they were going to be bad. That's actually I like the chaos. I don't want the team. I feel bad for the players and the fans, of course, but like management. Chuck Fletcher has made some questionable moves. The Rasmus Ristolainen trading for Tony DeAngelo. Like, come on, buddy, get fucked. And so, but I do. There's a lot of players that I like on this. I like Morgan Frost. I like Joel Farabee. Of course, everyone likes Couture. You like your Kevin Hayes, Owen Tippett, Zach McEwen can get fucked. Scott Lawson also can get fucked. JVR. D'Angelo can get fucked. A lot of these guys. LS, of course, he wanted to play. He, playing in Nashville, but again, injury-prone player. Not surprised. Rasmus Ristolainen paid way too much for him. Travis Sanheim, I like him. And then I actually have a soft spot for Carter Hart as well. I thought they brought him in too early. He did play really well, but he's just kind of been struggling recently, the last couple of years. But he's been standing on his head, in which I'm so happy for him. So let him go out there, let him thrive. I love when players thrive. Like, that's the thing is that like there's certain players that just they hit home, man. You just want them to win. You just want them to do well. So those are the couple teams. Those are the couple teams. I think it's 7 teams I'm watching. So you got my main 3. You got my Detroit. I'm watching San Jose, Dallas, and then again Toronto is kind of my 4th because Steve Dangle. You got me. I mean, I am in the Detroit area, so Toronto's only a hop, skip, and a jump over the Great Lakes, over the Ambassador Bridge. And then 4.5 hour drive. So, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, Again, and then you have watching for Arizona, watching for Chicago, and then watching for the Flyers. And again, like I said, the reason I'm watching Philadelphia, Chicago, and Arizona is that I thought they were in a tank, but I'm really excited for Philly. Oh, and also that there was a player that got drafted in the 3rd round that my family knows, and he played, I think, 18 games last year, Ronnie Yaddard. He played this preseason as well. He's down in the AHL right now, but family friend. So that's another reason I'm kind of staying in touch with him because I want to see him thrive. I want him to do well. So yeah. So anyways, thanks for listening to the Undrafted Hockey Fan podcast. Check out my TikTok. Check out, leave a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you ask me a question, I'll actually answer in the next video because I'm not getting a lot of comments right now. But if you ask, I will answer it. So anyways, thanks for listening, and catch you later.